Ecoleaf is a compound of methods that endorses and prohances um, distribution in many ways of many different types of dimensions. So, it uses three dimensions, and that's just its state performance, and it's pretty much what you can do in moments like Fruit Ninja, and pretty much being able to sit there for 73 hours and 44 hours and be able to play it for so long. That's pretty much where you're using your $97,449 four times. As you get a kick out of it, and you want your co-assistants to have a kick about it as well. So that's pretty much where you're using many different subscriptions to promote these details on side of it being a profile in actual life. So, that's basically where you get more appeal to ecoleaf, knowing many multi-tyrannies of its compound. So, they're all based in JB Hunt intermodal levels, and, pretty much where you working on storage and ships programs, and that's pretty much where you start in your whole subscription as far as that go. And that's just a little profile in all these subscriptions. And that's pretty much where you're working on the most basic the most basic prime detail that goes on in these services. And it's pretty much where you're working on 1973 to 2039 at these hours. And it's pretty much where you just focusing on the automotive detail, which is inspired by 1989. And it's pretty much where you're starting the detail of the dealership primorities. And it's pretty much where you're working on 1989 of 2027. And it's pretty much where you're working on the newest models of yellow, green, and orange, where you're using banking solutions to promote more for those types of causes. And not only is it banking solutions, but you got profile performance and multi-platforms there on different subscriptions that could help you out depending on what you need. And it's pretty much where you get the best of good help at that time. So all in all, that is a code of 2043 and not 2043 a year. That's basically just working on something in that area that probably could last that long, and give a good decency of enjoyment at the time. So it's pretty much where you're just working with groups of catfish, at that time as well. So that's basically where you're using a treaty compromise of a certain district or location at the time or coordinate. And that's pretty much where you're just using those 322 times instead of using it 131 times. You're using it 322 times. So you just bonusing up your curricular activities. So it's pretty much working on 90 80 different shares in 9-12 minutes. And it's pretty much where you're being able to provide for ecoleaf at that time, as you providing simple work. It's very diligent, it's very swift, it's very vast. So you got years of work to be able to conference by that, as you see in $97,449.17 in 20s. Just imagine it being $5 of nine fives instead of four fives, and being able to be 920s instead of 920s. So that's just one start. It's basically where you're starting the distance of being able to know something between a $97,449 interest rate of 17 cent. So that's basically working on a blue, yellow, green. So you're working with Sam Houston Enterprise and Restaurant Depot on that collaboration right there. So that's just more of Eco Herb, more of PMC2 squared, more of T-Mobile, more of T-Mobile's all over that as well. That's about $79,729.17. That's in the trans tax of that detail. So that's using 78,000 hours of prior time to promote that detail for the statistic that it is up to about 739 statistics within that coordinate launch. So we just want to be able to make sure they getting at least $22,414 so they can eat more than $217 a month. So that's pretty much where you're using 347 dimes. We need to use 947 dimes for more prominency and more predominance. Being able to sufficiently more for RQ, or and able to keep these things recollected, we have to obey the rules and be able to obey at least your local state. You got like 931 local states in the area, and they basically are the same thing as the local city that you're in. You just basically, it's not a distance that it's not something that you would run from, even if just because it is a district in the state that it is. So you're not looking at 1998 to 2047. You're running young at the time. You're about 98 years old, 38 years old. That's pretty much where you're running at the time, instead of it being 349 years old. 349 years old, you got things running for you at the time, and it's pretty much where you're starting your own territory of your own sort. So that's basically 1980 to 2030, and this pretty much not going to happen as long as you got subscriptions from Denali, Yukon, Cadillac, Denali HD. You got different subscriptions belong to that to prescribers and passengers at that time. So everybody's working on something new. Everybody has something extra to give. So that's pretty much where we want to be able to count those options for the most profit as they can. So everybody can profit off of their $224 that they were promised 2018. And that's pretty much where we're making that BMW specialty happen in 2036 to 2046. And it's pretty much as we starting a deal for $97,449.17. So ecoleaf is a proud sponsor of those type of deals. So it's pretty much what ecoleaf do on the off day to promote more for that. It sponsors for newer nonprofit organizations, or even Pop Warner leagues, or even the dance teams, or even the lounging groups. And it's pretty much where you just sit Cadillac and be able to conversate about Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Pokemon, all type of relations in between the two. Listening to Are We There Yet, and more of Are We Done Yet, that we just heard of in 2018. And it's pretty much where we just left off that. And it's pretty much a new movie compared to Barbershop 2. So it's pretty much where we're at as far as 2008 to 2024. And that's pretty much how you're making a new effort to make 905 hours of reducted tax at that time. So it's pretty much working on alternate insurance levels of 739 cubic units that cost $779,949 949 dime. And it's pretty much to where you're using different statistics and different coordinates and different categories to promote that detail. So that's basically where PMC does in order to calculate those benefits. So that's basically what this stuff is. So after using 739 hundreds, you want to be able to expand your horizon by using 739 dimes and being able to spend at least $98,848.14 on something that matters the most So, what do you do? Does Spotify do that? Does Spotify PMC 2 square midpoints do that? Possibly can. Look at the ratings on it. It's about 97,000, 747,000 of positive acknowledgments at the hour. So, that's just basically working with 749 hours a year, and, being able to make a $50,000 trans tax at the hour. So, it's pretty much where you can use that on any type of categories in yellow, green, and orange in 1891 of 2024. And yeah, that's pretty much where you're using 2:20 p.m. So, that's pretty much yellow, green, and orange of Austin Code structuring, which gives you more privilege and right to have a territory in its territory, which is up to about 736 units of sufficiency, which is how I claim my property, and being able to promote more for my structure program that I have affiliated with Austin Code and the Austin Council and Aquatics Division. And, it's pretty much where we're using a relative detail to promote more for our beneficial leads. And, it's pretty much where we're using Google accounts 7921 to promote that detail as you get in 21 sects of 7921. And, it's pretty much where you're using that code majority of the time. So, that's basically where you're using Google accounts as well. So, you call and ask them and, to put in the code, and they'll bring you more into about what you're looking for in language, as far as knowing 739 coordinates of orange, green, and blue. So, it's pretty much a landscape out there that you're asking about. And, it's pretty much where you're looking at the statistics of it, and, understanding more of the availability that it shows that you can have a good time and show that you're representing your recreational statistics at that time of 631 dimes. So that ain't nothing to 22,000. So, that just shows better time to have recreational experiences, be able to get out, express the wind, express yourself, and, be able to get a bigger gist, just because downtown is congested and, it's full of storage rooms at the time. So, you want to be able to get out to the park somewhere, Zilker, Riverview. You just want to hang out and, be able to contact with $98,474 in T-Mobile Propel benefits after you collect 437,714 units at the time, or systems at the time. So, it's pretty much where you're using detailed analysis to promote more for these types of programs. So, that's just basically using Spotify PMC with Comcast, with Adobe, with Comcast, with T-Mobile, $79,629 promoted in 20s. And, that's pretty much where you're using the sufficiented price for it as you get more towards the capital midpoints that need to be made, $76,849.49. So, that's just basically being able to find your way back to your base, or finding your way back to your destination, in a swift exchange. So, that's 1939. This is going to 2008. And, we're basically moving back to 2018 from then on, since it's been 214 hours since Georgetown Eastview game. So, it's pretty much where it's been after that. So, it's pretty much where you're using $739.49 of Georgetown Eastview characteristics of Mr. Catfish and More and Catfish Industries. And, that's pretty much where we use our incline of characteristics and communications and topics. And, that's pretty much all what this is as well. That's a group of 739 topics being talked at 98,848 times. And, Comcast Grid Statistics motivates that. It sees that, and so it wants to promote a game of its intelligence in a way. So it's using no deal, deal or no deal, and Jeopardy in a way as well. So it's pretty much where you're using 75,848 to promote more for that imbalance as we use more for hydration and consumption rates. And it's not just going towards Comcast, it's going to T-Mobile, Enterprise, Mr. Catfish, Google, Aquatics, Granger. You got Sam's out there, Chime. So all in all, you work in a group of 78,948 hours. So that's just basically being imported on 720 years that you need to work. So it's pretty much getting the 2022 session started for 2026. So it's pretty much where you getting started with 2036 and going to 2086. So with that being said, this is where you get these topics as you synchronize more data into your Adobe, Spotify, PMC, two squareds, statistics, categories into statistics. So it's pretty much where you're using that, and these are like landscape mechanisms where you can use these hundreds several of times. So this is basically using PMC 2 squared and Spotify PMC 2 squared and Chime PMC 2 squared, and it's basically using these types of subscriptions to promote more for a paid program of at least $75,546. So it's basically taking at least 4,100s out of every category in here and making a 221 bill statement instead of $20. So instead of it being a tip, it's more of a trans tax or a sub tax of a sort. So you can pay the bill final and definite definitions. So that's pretty much where you're getting that whole detail coming from. And you're getting codes. Remember those codes we was talking about on that? Where was that at? We still have that somewhere around here. We was talking about codes right here, and it's pretty much 9848. You got 5747. So that's just corporate part, and basically you just moving through the portrait, and being able to look at 751 different portraits. 951 different traits in the portrait, and 650 pixels in the portrait. So it's basically where you get your memorial art as you get more of a Austria Lagoon collaboration to it. So it's pretty much where you're using more for everything you need, and it's pretty much what ecoleaf represents at this hour. And it's pretty much going through its itinerary of its specified analysis. So you're just going through multi-units, reps, votes, capitalism, commercialism. You're just going through many different levels of those types of deals in 2017 to 2032. And it's pretty much where you're using $32,496 a week to promote more for that, as you create more for not just 131 people, but more for 90 people. And that's pretty much where you're looking to support a big collaboration of community compounds and civilizations. This is based off of Elizabeth Ney. So Elizabeth Ney know a huge culture of everybody that's in there, just like David Jacob Dad would know, or Josh Jad would know, or anybody else that seen in that type of perception would know. And that's pretty much where you're using a certain time limit of acknowledgement to know more of that qualifications. And basically what you're doing with this, out of 755 papers, you're only using 25 to 255 papers to promote more for that detail. So you can go on and on with a black and white Decker type detail at the time, and promote 60 different papers of a positive profile of that area. So it's basically using $75,000 of profiles. And this is the thing. The thing is, you just got to know what you're doing at the time, since it's Z71 inspired Intalis. So there's got to be at least $40,000 of interest at the time. So this is not no kid work. This is more Black and Decker, DeWalt. You're using those types of companies at the time, and it's pretty much part of these codes that were used for everything. And you see AIS over there. That's 2043. We use that for alternate insurance services, which is inspired by ecoleaf, and it's pretty much where you're using ecoleaf's statistics and topics to promote more for that type of investment or entertainment. So that's just basically working with what DWL has to register in your Cabbage Industries 100. And that's pretty much where you're using more of a detail to provide for 9739. And 9739 is just a midpoint, just like a bank. It's just like a bank of a midpoint that contributes more towards 739 contributions that makes up to about $70,836 transition. So that's basically working on a month deposit of Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Easter, put together so we can have as much fun as we delight in 2016 to 2032. So that's pretty much where you're using your 8210 specifications, and being able to support it with $419 of PMC2 squared's interest rates. So that's pretty much where you start in luxury luck. Compassion is 316 times a day. So that's basically where you're gaining more towards 7830. 351 times. So that's pretty much what you're doing when you're promoting your detail. All you have to do is just put in a number of duplicates at that hour, and that's pretty much all you need to certify proof of income at the time. So that's just using 2040 to 2085 of certain enterprise Interscopes memberships. So it's pretty much where we're paying for. We're paying for a lot of good stuff at the time with these codes, and being able to know who's what and who does what. And this is basically a 1989 type of method that we use, and it's pretty much where you use a mixture of compassions of all members coming from Bill Worth Lot Industries and Enterprises. So that's pretty much where you're getting a midpoint of a level that has these types of categories in them. And that's pretty much where you're using $79,550 of trans tax check to get $759 a month. So it's pretty much where you're using these big wide numbers and positive detail. Just imagine me making those chicken tenders 335 times. Imagine how many times would you collect 30,000, 75, and 35,000 on 435 years of interest at that time. Being able to see the picture of me being able to pick up the box of fries and ship them off to the business factory. And it's pretty much where you wanted to use $98,839.30 in progressive detail to promote more for the code exchange at the time. So it's pretty much working on 739 months of profile renewal. Just imagining what they could do, who they are, what they are, and what they can do with it. That's just basically going over your Granger points at that time. So, that's pretty much where we're looking at more of ecoleaf multi-platforms. And, that's pretty much looking at 739 different papers of results that you could be being described on Chronicles of Narnia or Polar Express or Dr. Seuss. And, it's pretty much looking at 739 chapters of that previous detail. So, it's pretty much where you're working on another channel of multi-platforms inspired by XD Disney and just subscriptions like that, XD Disney. So, that's pretty much what gained 79% overall rating on Max Preps and Dave Campbell's, and, more into the huddle areas of strategic life, that you have to be quick and advanced and proper, and, you have to be sophisticated at the hour. So, it's basically working on 1879 to 2024. And, everybody has 974 different populations of popcorn at the time. And, this basically sharing compounds of attributes and, being able to share more into, having bigger compounds of common attributes. So, that's basically where you're using 739 different categories and coordinates of what you could be initiating at the time. So, it's pretty much where you're using 1736 codes at the time, and, being able to support more for what means the worst at the time. What's the worst? What's the best effort? So, this is the complete prominent answer to every 739 complete or a abstracted decision. Being able to support more for the undecided decision. So, it's pretty much where you're using 739 dimes toward the prominent decision, and, being able to use 739 dimes to make that coordinate activate under 845 hundreds. 844 hundreds. So you see all those codes with names on them. You just get a good look of them, and, be able to get the manage out of it, and, be able to get a code for what they mean, and, be able to charge it 20 times, 316 times, and, be able to use that a month. And, that's basically you paying for your Spotify PMC2 squared account, thanks to you for Christmas and Thanksgiving. So, that's pretty much how we start the holidays and traditions off, as we start a 250-year tradition. So, basically all we need to know is more of 2032, and, that's pretty much where we're still updating from the last Christmases we had in 2012. So, that's pretty much where we want to be able to handle our common self to promote that detail. So that's basically where you're working on career registration, and, that's a code of 8210. Being able to support 844 dimes. That's about an 8210 coordinate. So, that's the location of your next privilege. So, that's pretty much where you work on your career registration with attendance, correct attendance. So, it's pretty much where you're using that whole 751 a.m. or 7 a.m., 751 a.m. Okay, y'all. So that's it. Spotify, YouTube, and Comcast. and YouTube and Google and Frost and Amazon Enterprise, Restaurant Depot, Aquatics Division. Those are your subscriptions. They all paid $73,490, and they have 79,456 shares of these types of profiles within these types of jurisdictions, which are maxed out at $73,945.75. So that's basically where you're using more for reduced tax of 1975 to 2095. So it's pretty much where you're using Jack in the Box, Wendy's, McDonald's, Taco Bell. That's basically using $12,000 244 times to promote more for that detail of experience at the time. So you just got to be able to put more in so you can get a good tastier meal. So that's pretty much what Taco Bell and all the other restaurants is saying, since you can't get a quantity of tacos for $5. So you're just basically trying to get a $230 range for at least 14 tacos, and it's pretty much where you're using more of mo beta, mo better. So you're using more of YouTube Kids, Eco Herb, Play 60, and being able to promote more for a bigger quarter of dehydration, hunger. You got to be able to support that. So we all do that with $97,449.17 on Lloyd Dogger's account of 739 representatives. So that's pretty much what we vote for at this time. So it's pretty much where we're using our voting systems of Mitt Romney's characteristics, and being able to know what 739 gallons of bleach look like, other than it being Hawaiian Punch or something. So that's pretty much where you're using distance and relations of 90-30, of 90-30 and 98-30, and that's pretty much where you're using 98 yards to determine the two, which is $230 of seven first downs. So that's already a interest rate of $730. So you basically use that 255 times, and be able to use more for 79.49, which is more for life expectancy, and it's basically $249 for that on ecoleaf and Google Fi and Comcast and T-Mobile, and that's basically where you're using more for that company Inspired and Talis. So he's using those companies 749 times, and basically they already have their own subscription within these coordinates, and it's pretty much where you're using a little bit of everything, in the 79,551.70 area. So it's pretty much where you're using $224 products at the time. So it's basically where you're using a moderate level of midlife works at the time. So you're basically a heavy 35, 45-year-old type a certain type of person at the time. So that's about 431 people on 741 people, and it's pretty much looking at 731 7:41 41 p.m.